playing hard, and LSU with a 39-32 lead over Southeastern Louisiana right now. We turn our attention from this game to last night's encounter as LSU's ladies beat Virginia Tech in a wonderful output in the second half for LSU. And Bob Starkey, one of the authors of that win from the bench as associate head coach, been in the business for more than 30 years as an SEC coach. Bob, tell us about that victory, because obviously there were questions in a lot of areas, and the Tigers played extremely well last night.
Well, we did. To be honest with you, we thought we had a good chance to, because we had 3 good days of preparation. And that's where it starts, by having good practice. And then it was nice to have, obviously, to have Angel out there. I thought we had a few jitters early, had a couple unnecessary turnovers, a couple breakdowns defensively, but then once we got our legs settled, I thought we played really well.
You know, Bob, last year, I wanted to ask you about team chemistry as we look at the numbers here. The dominant one, I'll get to the chemistry in a second since we're looking at this. What changed for you when you, Kim, company talked to the team from the slow start you had in the first quarter to the dominating performance you had in second, carrying that momentum into halftime?
Well, I tell you, you threw 3 names up there, but there were 2 others that I thought were key. One was Flage, who guarded their 3rd leading scorer, didn't allow her to score, best 3-point shooter. And then we had Aaliyah Del Rosario came in and filled in and defended well in the post. When you see that 22-9 slate there in the second period, that was defense. That was defense getting our transition going, creating opportunities on the offensive end, and that was a function of team defense. So we had a lot of people involved in that second quarter.
I'm going to put you on the spot. Michaela Williams, the next Simone Augustus?
I would never compare anybody to Simone. I think Michaela Williams is the next Michaela Williams. I think she's that special. And I think she has a chance to be one of the absolute best that have ever played.
You know, last year I remember you telling me about last year Poa. You all were using her as a point guard because you can't always have Alexa Morris, right? We knew that Morris eventually would be moving on. And you talked about her basketball smarts. Then you bring in a Haley Van Lith. You need somebody to get you in the offense. How have you been proud of that development of what you've seen with not only Cole but Haley and how they're handling that after you lost a senior point guard a year ago?
Well, I think Haley's been amazing. I mean, you're talking about a young lady who hasn't played point guard since she was in high school. And if you understand basketball, that transition to that position that's like moving a running back or receiver to quarterback. And you look at her assist to turnover ratio, I think it was 5-1 last night against Virginia Tech. And I think the more comfort she gets in, the more she's going to be able to flow into her shot, which is something I think separates her. But we're really, really pleased with her progress.
Last year, we knew that the way Kim had scheduled the season, you had new players coming in, with Angel here, with Flage coming in as a true freshman, and you took the time to watch them develop as a team, and obviously it peaked at the end with the national championship. Comparing that now to this year when you have a Michaela and you bring in a Morrow and you bring in a Haley Van Lith, how are you pleased with the progression? Are you on pace to where the team gelling now like it did a year ago, if you understand what I'm asking about, that team camaraderie and getting to know everybody, on the floor?
Absolutely. Chemistry was a very, very important part of us winning a championship last year. I'm not sure we were the best team in the country, but I thought our chemistry was as good as anybody, and we had the talent. We obviously have the talent.
Yep.
I think the chemistry is something we're continuing to work on. We've had a few hiccups, but I think if you watched the game last night, we were very cohesive out there playing with each other, sharing the basketball, working together defensively. That was the best we've seen this year in terms of chemistry on the floor.
You know, Bob, you've always been very humble. You've always been a gentleman in this game. But I want to talk about Bob Starkey for just a moment. All of them, of LSU's appearances in the Final Four have a common denominator, and it's Bob Starkey. More than 30 years of SEC coaching experience, 24 NCAA tournaments. No other coach in America can boast of coaching Simone Augustus, Sylvia Fowles, Tamika Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, Stanley Roberts, Mahood, Abdul-Rauf. And, you've coached men, you've coached women. It's just an amazing story when you look, and I did some research. You're closing in on 800 victories as an assistant coach.
Well, you just named the key right there. The better the players, the smarter the coach. And I don't know anybody's been blessed to coach not just good players, but some of the greatest players that have ever played. And then you throw in the fact that I've worked with about 3 or 4 Naismith Hall of Fame basketball coaches. So I'm the one that's really, really been blessed. My claim to fame is I haven't screwed it up too much.
you just mentioned one of the names before we let you out here. I know last night was a big milestone for Kim, celebrating her career victories, and Bob, Lynn just mentioned how many you're getting close to as an assistant. There was also big news last night because Simone Augustus was announced that she's going to make the Hall of Fame. I know how close you are to Simone and your thoughts of Simone. I wanted to know what that meant for you when that announcement came out that one of the best that's ever played in this building, men or women, is now going to find herself in the Hall of Fame.
Simone is everything you could ever possibly want in a player. Not just from the skill set, but the leadership. She's a great teammate. She's a great human being. She absolutely loves this university. She loves this city. Her going into the Hall of Fame is something special for all of us. We had an opportunity to witness that, start from Capitol High School all the way through the WNBA and her Olympic gold medals. There's nobody more deserving than Simone. I couldn't be happier for her.
Well, you're talking about a special associate head coach as well in Bob Starkey. He's done about everything there is to do from the sideline in college basketball. Right now, it's 39-32. LSU has the lead over Southeastern Louisiana. Bob, thanks for stopping by.
What I feel in my heart during the Subaru Share the Love event, it's just so rewarding.
We believe in love, not just our customers, but all.
4 of 6 from the floor for his 9 points. He also has a steal and an assist and has thrown in 3 rebounds as well. If you want to really dive into the numbers here, 42% for Southeastern. Look at LSU shooting 61%. But the Lions started red hot, and then since then they dropped off. A lot of that went with their three-pointers. They consistently were trying to take the outside shot that they were not going in. If you want to really break down to the nitty-gritty, Lynn, LSU has made 2 more three-pointers than the Lions. And LSU has gone to the free throw line 6 times and hit 5. The Lions have yet to take a free throw. There's your game. It's a 7-point game, but those 2 columns right there is the difference between LSU being up by 7 and the Lions being closer.
Has it been a bit of a surprise to you that the Lions have been so good around the bucket? They've been able to get into the paint, and they have scored frequently from there.
Yeah, well, especially the way this game started early when they had such a big advantage. Both teams right now have 16 points, so LSU has started to work its way into the paint. But just the sheer size advantage, just looking at it on rosters, and that's why you don't play games on paper. But on paper, it says LSU should have such a size advantage that they should not be allowing that. There's been defensive breakdowns, and the Lions' ability to take advantage of those breakdowns and get to the hoop.
LSU in white, the Lions in green. Williams, Wilkinson, Baker, Reed, and Ward on the floor right now for the Tigers. Eastman, McFarland, Robury, Woodard, and Caldwell for LSU. Opening seconds of the second half. LSU protecting a 7-point lead. 8 seconds to shoot. A foul is called as the Lions used most of the shot clock and finally got the post man to find a teammate cutting down the lane.
Watch the dip pass here by the big man, Robury, as he sees his teammate cut down. Watch here, back to the basket. He's trying to post up, and watch how he just drops this thing up. Look at this low bounce pass, leads it right to where Caldwell is going, and then draws the foul.
And the free throw's coming from Caldwell.
And then you were mentioning earlier about Caldwell and how he's so close to setting the record, the all-time record. How about this? Since he arrived on the campus in the 2019-20 season, he has played in every game for the Lions. Has not missed. You know how rare that is these days in college basketball to have that kind of a record with one team?
He's the Cal Ripken of Southeastern. And you talked about the vacant free throws. There's a 3-ball tossed in by Williams. He started the game hot, and he has started the second half hot. He's got 11. This 3 comes up a little bit short. Deep rebound. It's tipped loose and saved and a lay-in. Let's give credit first to the defensive effort of Mike Williams. And here comes LSU after another takeaway. For 3. It rattles out.
Well, that would have brought about a timeout from the Lions because trying to go down the floor after that wild sequence for LSU The Lions had a breakaway and an alley-oop pass for a layup, wide open, and Caldwell just had it roll all the way around the rim and out.
Roberry is hacked. And a foul called on LSU's Williams. And free throws coming. Well, you mentioned the fact that Southeastern had not offered a free throw in the first half, but they've gotten to the line now here early in the second half. They're trying to cut into a 10-point LSU lead.
Now 12 points for Williams after that three-pointer that he hit, and then that circus pass to keep the ball alive. But that second three-pointer he hit tonight matches his season-made three-pointers coming into tonight's game. Williams was just 2 of 13 from behind the line, was shooting 15%. Tonight he's 2 of 3.
Roberry hits 1 of 2 free throws. Here's Baker. He thought about the 3. 1 dribble, 2. Spins, dips, comes back with the left hand. Misses off the window. The ball tapped around. Baker in the right place at the right time, and that one may have been deflected. And a really strong effort by Caldwell to take the ball away. That's like a ping pong ball in a bathtub.
Bouncing all over, off his ankles, off his legs, and just bounced right back into LSU's hands.
So out of the chaos, LSU gets the 3 ball. And a foul called, an offensive foul called against an LSU player.
Yeah, they called it on Will Baker.
I'll tell you what.
Away from the ball, but got called for moving into a defender illegally, like an illegal screen.
You folks at home, try to cast your gaze as often as you can on number 9 in white and number 15 in green, Baker and Roberry. I mean, these guys are hammering each other every time down the court. Look at this. Look at this. Roberry comes up short.
And that time Roberry tried to dip his shoulder and give a little separation, just couldn't do it. Baker stood his ground, and what's amazing, with as physical as they are each and every time down the floor, just 3 fouls between them.
Yeah, the officials are letting those guys bang on each other. Reed muscles his way in and switches hands and scores with the left hand.
It's not easy to do when he's muscling like that to try to change the shot when he went into the air, but he went left, right, then back left again to get past the defender.
He's got 8. The deep rebound finds its way into Wilkinson's hands. He got the start tonight. Baker able to draw the foul. Roberry holds his hands up in exasperation, but it'll be a couple of free throws coming for Baker.
Watch Baker turn around to see where Roberry is. He kind of glances, he backs his way out a little bit, 1 dribble, and goes up. As he's going up, he's jumping backwards a little bit, which allows him to kind of initiate the body contact. That's why Roberry was throwing up his hands like, wait a minute, what am I supposed to do? .6'11", 290 is Brody Roberry, the sophomore forward out of Meridian, Idaho. Will Baker standing at 7 foot 245.
Baker is a really good free throw shooter. He came into the game at 84.6%.
And to the point of how much they're banging on the inside, how nice is that to know that your big man has that kind of touch? Because while the officials are letting them play tonight, there are games that with this kind of banging, he'll be shooting 8, 10, 12 free throws. Boy, it sure is nice to know that more than 8 out of 10 are going in from your big fella.
No question about it.
That is not leaving points on the floor.
No doubt. And he's 3 for 3 tonight, so that number will go up from this point. It came in at 84.6%. Dean has come in to replace Baker. So Dean will be the designated bruiser against Woodard. Or I should say Roberry.
Evidently, during halftime, the Lions decided not to look at the box score and see the success they were having in the paint, because they've abandoned us trying to get in the paint. They're trying to do everything from outside the three-point line.
Reed offers a soft shot. It rattles and goes. He's got 7. 50 to 35. LSU leading by 15 now. It's been a cold start here in the second half for Southeastern. There's contact by Dean, no doubt about that. And going down hard is Roger McFarland. And we'll step aside with free throws coming when we come back. 15:42 to play in the second half.
Time break, that LSU had an advantage of 5 free throws to none for the Lions. If it wasn't for the free throw line here in the first 4.5 minutes of this second half, the Lions would have no points. 0 for 6 from the floor, 0 for 3 from deep, but they're now 4 or 5 from the line, and all of that coming here in the second half.
And I think the point you made just a couple of minutes ago about the Lions, for some reason, forsaking the determined effort they had to get close to the bucket, and were scoring points frequently in the paint. And from 2 feet away, they have not been able to do that, or haven't done that, so far in the first 4.5 minutes of the second half.
They were running a much better offense early in this ball game, where they were using slip screens and driving through the lane to find openings. Now LSU has adjusted to try to shut some of that down, but it almost looks like they're not even running the offense to make the attempt. They're settling for the outside shot.
Reed tried to keep that missed shot alive. It was Ward who launched the 3. We're coming up 5 minutes deep into the second half. This is a very long 3, and McFarland rips it home. Roger McFarland has 9.
He was closer to us than he was the top of the
Yes,
key.
he was.
Maybe he heard us talking about it and said, all right, I'm going to shut both you guys up. I'm going to launch this from about 27 feet.
I think you could have blocked it from here. This for 3. It's a little bit short, bounces over the backboard and out of bounds. And so LSU, with the miss by Ward, has a 10-point lead, 14:44 to go in the second half. We're in Baton Rouge tonight. We'll check some other scores in just a moment from the SEC. We'll wait a few more minutes and get to that as we can. And speaking of that, Victor, Ole Miss and South Carolina are 6-0 in the league right now. Kentucky, Mississippi State 6-1. Auburn is 5-1. Missouri at 6-2, and so is Texas A&M. Alabama 5-2. Arkansas 5-3. Florida and Georgia and LSU and Tennessee are 4-3. And Vanderbilt, 1 game under 500. The only team in the SEC in that category right now is 3-4.
There's a long list of teams, and all of them have records over better than 500.
We've got a couple of finals from the SEC. We'll pass them along in just a little bit. Stewart sets up and shoots for 3. Left it short. He's chasing it down and saves it. Williams back to Dean. 1 strong dribble. Half hook. Good. Dean has not played a lot this year, but he's been active when he's been in the game today.
You know, it's nice to see that he tries to attack the rim in the paint. Like Will Baker just brings in another big body now. 24 paint points for LSU, so just under 50% of their points tonight coming from the paint, 50% outside.
Under Dean shifts and prevents the close shot. A 3 ball is up and a 3 ball is in. Ripped home again by Roscoe Eastman. He's got 6.
Now the last 3-pointer, of course, we talked about was from 28 feet away, but that 3-pointer, no problem with it. Why? They made 6 or 7 passes, went all the way around the horn, and had the defense moving, and it set up for a wide open 3.
Are you ready for the SEC Finals? Georgia beat Mercer by 11, 80-69. And South Carolina handled George Washington 89-67. And speaking of George Washington, that's where Hunter Dean played before he came to LSU.
I love how you tied that in together.
Offensive foul as the defender, Paez, suddenly was bumped out of the way. He was rerouted, and this is going to give a chance for Southeastern to cut the lead to 7, maybe 6. That's soft little jumper from near the lane is good by Caldwell.
Chachi, Nick Caldwell's nickname, former Dutchtown Griffin. You know he's excited to have this kind of game tonight. Just about 15, 20 minutes from his high school down there in Prairieville.
And he's the latest in the 1,000-point club at Southeastern. LSU takes a timeout.
6 points a game this year now, coming into tonight, averaging just over 9 points a game, and that's going up as he's sitting with 10 with still 12:45 to go.
He is a 6'6" sophomore from Washington, D.C. That pass intended for Baker is overplayed and intercepted by Caldwell. He anticipated it beautifully.
It's a number now that's starting to become a problem for LSU. 14 turnovers. Southeastern just with 7.
And so coming out of the timeout, LSU is unable to get a shot away and turns it over. Caldwell well defended. 6 to fire. Eastman will put it up from deep. A little bit short. It's off of Baker. He falls down. There is a whistle.
I think he fell down because of the player you're looking at right there, Avery Wilson, number 1. Heard Baker sort of grunt when he went down. I've sold it a little bit. I didn't see how much of the contact, but it was Wilson that was behind him. And with Baker falling forward, I imagine Wilson would put a forearm or shiver into his back and shoved him down. So he draws the foul. Missed opportunity for the Lions, who really didn't get a great shot that time with the clock running down. Had to take a desperate shot anyway.
Well, what's a shiver among friends, right?
Right.
Baker posting up. Now he has to get out of the way. Hannibal with the short, sweet feed to Baker, and he flushed it.
Great look, great ball movement as Southeastern tried to draw LSU into a half-court trap, but they broke it easily with the cross-court pass. And then a couple quick passes in the lane led to the dunk.
And that's a dozen by Baker. Right. Pulls it off. LSU trying to speed up the offense. Reverse layup, no good by Hannibal. Baker is there to finish. Baker back-to-back buckets. He's got 14 now. And the big fellow for Southeastern is going to come back in. Brody Robury. 56-45. Tigers by 11. Make it 9. After the jump shot from the left side by Roscoe Eastman out of Marietta, Georgia. That's 8 for him.
Coming into this ball game in his last 3, he was 9 of 15 from the floor. 3 of 7 tonight with 8 points, 4 assists.
Right dribble is taken away by Wilson. What a block on the other end. Trey Hannibal skying to reject it. Kick out 3. Rims out. Fountain saves it. This for 3. No. LSU with a long but unprofitable possession.
A lot happened there in the last 10 to 12 seconds, and it started with Eastman being a little lazy on his layup approach. It was Hannibal skied up to block that shot. Started the other way for the Tigers, who had 3 opportunities, just couldn't score.
Seven to shoot. This for 3. Comes up short. Paez gets a piece of the rebound. There's another 3 from the same spot, and this one after the conversion by McFarland. McFarland able to rip it home. He's got 12. LSU's lead is 6 with 9:53 to play here in Baton Rouge on the SEC ESPN Network. Is guarding the LSU biggest player.
It looked like LSU was building a big lead and could possibly start to pull away in the last 5 minutes. It's a 15-6 run for the Lions. That's how they've made this just a 2 3-point field goal game.
That whistle goes against the Lions. And free throws will be coming for Jalen Reed. Reed on the year, pretty good, 74.1%. Looking for his 8th point.
Second miss tonight from the line.
Both teams have 5 team fouls. Both teams have 2 timeouts to use. And the lead is 7. Shot clock at 7. Paez will take the 3. On line but long. It's tipped around and controlled by the Tigers. LSU's Williams taking the deflection.
Lions set up a little high double screen. It was a staggered double screen for Paez, which is why he got a good look. Just overshot it.
Ward pulls up as he gets to the slot. And the rebound is grabbed easily by McCullough.
And a lot of white jerseys that time outside the paint and almost outside the three-point line. That's why there wasn't a white jersey there for the rebound.
It was an uncontested rebound, and LSU leads by 7. Southeastern can do something about it. Paez dribbles past the high pick, now is cut off, and finds a teammate underneath for a little reverse layup. Well done by Alec Woodard.
And that's because Jalen Reed was looking at the ball, lost his man, who went behind him on the baseline, and that's how Woodard was so wide open. Reed didn't even know he cut behind him.
9 for Woodard. The lead is 5 for LSU with 8 minutes to play. LSU is going to get a break on this because the Tigers were out of control offensively. We'll take a timeout and sort it out.
That time he didn't. Woodard went back door. Beautiful pass, and that's why the Lions are now within 5.
The Lions started very hot in the first half. They're 20 for 50 now. That's 40%. Meanwhile, LSU is shooting 51.2% from the floor. And you would think the Tigers would have a little bit more of a spread than 5, but that's what it is, 57-52. A chance to open a 6-point lead here. Now 7 as Williams hits the first free throw. These are the first free throws of the night for Mike Williams. He's 1 for 2. So it's a 2-possession game. There was a push-off as the big fellow hit the deck, and that one was pretty obvious. LSU got caught because Baker was out guarding a guard at the top of the key, and LSU was all discombobulated and picking up defenders down low.
And I think they're going to go take a look as to whether or not the shot went up. We're going to have an official come clarify.
I think they're going to let him talk into my mic.
They're going to.
We have a defensive foul off the ball. We're going to make sure that the foul didn't occur while the player was in the ankle shot.
Yep, so that's what they're going to take a look at. Did the foul happen before or after the shot went up? The officials looked at each other and they waved it off no. So the call on the floor is no bucket. There you see the big man going down. Now the tough thing when watching it like this, you see the official right there, he's looking to say, is it a foul? Let's see when the arm goes up. Arm is going up with the official on the baseline while he's in the motion of shooting, and there's the official that says no bucket, and they're gonna keep the call on the floor. They're gonna say no basket.
So after the review, it upheld everything, and rightly so.
But you know, on those bang-bang plays like that, especially if you're a Southeastern Lion, I like the fact that they go to the review. Because that could mean everything. That could be a foul and a bucket, and you get the ball again. That could change everything in the game. So
indeed, it could.
They did a nice job of reviewing it. They called it right the first time, but no problem with them clarifying it to make sure it's the right call. Unfortunately, they go down there now, and Alec Woodard got the ball at the corner, stepped on the sidelines out of bounds. So after that opportunity, they don't get a shot up. After it went in, but because of the foul, it's a do-over, and now they miss that opportunity. That's a big miss now for the Lions.
Yes, it is.
Turnover number 8. Sorry, then turnover number 8 for the Lions.
Which is very economical. That's a good number. No doubt. 15 turnovers for LSU. And they're going to get the big fellow Robury for the foul.
It's his fourth. And what's amazing, watching that, because that happened just to our left. You and I had a clear view of it. These guys have been banging all night long, and that was a quick little trying to reach around the side and slap at the ball, and they called that foul after we've seen them body colliding all night long.
Oh yeah, they've been like freight trains banging on each other. Watch this. This compared to what's been going on, this is nothing.
And look how their bodies. See, it was that little right hand, just a jab, and you see Robury goes, "Hey, call that?" But they did. And that's his fourth, so he's gonna have to go to the bench.
And they have fouled at the best free throw shooter on the LSU team.
Now, what I'd like to see on LSU side, with Baker out there and their big man with 4 fouls on the bench, if you're LSU, every time down the floor, you find where number 9 is and you put him on the block. But they're probably going to go with Chachi. They're going to put Caldwell on him if they stay in a man-to-man. And then instead, Matt McMahon takes out Will Baker. So forget everything I was just saying, and we'll see what happens when he comes back.
16 points for Baker. He's 5 for 5 from the free throw line. It was a good explanation.
Well, I thought we were going down a good avenue there. You take advantage with your big man, and their big man is out. But everybody needs a breather, right? Will Baker's taking his right now.
This is a very big possession for Southeastern, even though there's 7 minutes left. And they turn it over. Fountain protecting the dribble. This is Reed. LSU whips it around, and a quick three is in the air, and a quick three is in by Jordan Wright. Jordan Wright, who for the first time in 8 games did not get the start, has 11 off the bench. And Wright will be called for a foul as he was trying to commit larceny on Nick Caldwell.
He leads this team in steals, as we mentioned at the top of the broadcast. Coming off the bench, he's been much more efficient. 4 of 7 from the floor, 3 of 5 from three-pointers. That last one he hit, that was his first in the second half. Thought he was going to try to get away with a steal and an easy 2, but they called for the foul, and you can see he did not like the call at all.
So instead of a turnover, Caldwell will have a chance to cut into the 9-point lead, or 11-point lead. He does not, as he misses the front end of the 1-and-1.
It's his first miss of this ball game. He had hit his first 2, and coming into the game, was 13 for 17 from the line on the season. That was 6:01 for LSU in the last 90 seconds.
Offensive foul. A collision down on the baseline. 16 turnovers for the Tigers, only 9 for the Lions.
Must be on Tyrell Ward. Let's see what he does here. They see with the arm. It's one thing with the shoulder contact, but every time you take that chicken wing out and you shove that arm away from your body, it looks like it's flailing. They're going to call that 9 out of 10 times offensively. It's one thing to go body to body if you're driving with your shoulder, but as soon as that arm separated and extends, they're going to call you for an offensive foul.
You can hear the tennis shoe squeaking, and a nice scoop rolls across the rim with a rebound save. The kick out for a 3 ball. It's no good. Missed by Burton. But another chance for the Lions.
Caldwell's one of those guys the Lions need to try to find his offense. Just 4 points here in the second half after he led them with 9 points at the break.
This for 3. Nope. Fountain sails high for the rebound. Reed working on the much smaller Paez. Paez batted it loose for the moment. And it's going to stay with LSU. 5:36 to go. 63-52 Tigers.
That miss. Caldwell now 1 of 5 here in the second half after going 4 of 6 in the first half for those 9 points. And after that 1 minute break or so, a little sip of water. Big fella for LSU comes back in. Will Baker back on the floor. Just like we thought, they're going to put Caldwell up against him. But they have to because Robury's on the bench with 4 fouls.
And there may be some kind of blood on the...
It was that freshman guard out of Houston. He was walking off the bench up the tunnel. Official came over to confirm that there was blood on there, but Cam Burton was walking off the bench. He has gone all the way up the tunnel and taken a right into the Lions locker room.
Half the shot clock left for LSU.
Look at that. There's that battle. Okay, we just talked about it. Oh, that they, the way Matt McMahon just reacted, they might have called that on Will Baker. Let's see.
No, they don't get it on Baker.
Okay, the way Matt McMahon was reacting.
Yeah.
This was the battle we just talked about with Roberry on the bench. He's 6'5", is Caldwell. He's the one that is battling out there trying to go up against 7-footer Will Baker. That's where the contact was.
And a quick foul called. And LSU will be shooting 1 and 1.
On that last possession, they actually called a double foul. They did call one on Will Baker, and they called one on Caldwell.
So Williams will have a 1 and 1 opportunity, the freshman from Baltimore. (63-52) with 5:20 to play. Paez leans over the dribble, brings it up in the front court. A nice backdoor cut. That's deflected by Wright. Jordan Wright prevented it from getting to the target.
Now remember a couple of minutes ago we talked about that play on the baseline. You have to keep an eye on your man, and that time Jordan Wright did. The way he's turned, his man cuts, but he still had an eye on where the ball was. When the bounce pass attempt went in, he was able to deflect that out of bounds.
Fountain has replaced Will Baker for the Tigers. And Fountain will guard Nick Caldwell on the throw-in. Paez got in trouble. He got into the air and didn't have anywhere to go with it.
And baseline, decided to jump instead of keeping his dribble, and then got into a lot of trouble.
Wright puts it on the floor, gets into the lane, falls down, but safely tosses it out to Ward. He'll retreat with 14 on the shot clock. And a reach-in foul called on Roscoe Eastman. He's the smallest player on the court at 5'9", a senior. Free throws coming for Tyrell Ward. Looking for points 11 and 12.
Drops LSU on the free throw shooting now to 11 for 16. Just dropped them under 70% with 1 to go. Chance to make it up here.
We're coming up on 4.5 minutes remaining. The lead is 64-52, LSU. Paez is down on the deck. Officials are conferring.
Well, and they're conferring and talking about something because one of the officials threw up the X with his hand, so that's not just a common foul. Now they're going to go take a look at this because of the way it was called. That's one reason for the huddle, and he's signaling to the official scorer as well. So they call a flagrant 1 foul on Tyrell Ward. So that was the brief discussion, but that he'll get 2 free throws and have an opportunity again for the ball after the flagrant foul call.
This is like a technical in effect, right? The penalty.
Yep, she gets 2 free throws and he gets that to go in. But while Paez is at the free throw line, it's a very interesting story. He came from Venezuela, but he got to America through a foundation that was set up by greatest basketballers. I had the fortune of covering basketball when he played, and I was doing NBA work for the Hornets/Pelicans, and he played in New Orleans. And what a great foundation to help international players to get an opportunity to come to America. And he did. That's how he got to the States, went to Austin Peay, and has since now transferred and plays in Hammond. But I think that's great that he had that opportunity to come, and that's going to be another one. That flagrant foul happened here. Now Ward is shocked, but he hit him with 2 hands in the back while Paez was running around and curling off the screen, and the arms extended. So that's going to send him right back to the free throw line for 2 more free throws and possession.
You make the call here, and there's no question that Ward extended his arms.
Just watch the two hands. Look right here, and you see how he pushes them? And the official is standing just off to the right of the screen.
We have a flagrant one foul call on the floor. We're going to the monitor.
I like that you've thrown in something new for the broadcast. How if they can't tell at home, you're throwing your headset out to the official. What I like is the official wanted to take the headset and put it on. And quite honestly, I wouldn't mind it.
Yeah, but I asked him if I could have his whistle. He said no. So I mean, you know.
Well, that's nice that he's at least speaking in the microphone. Everybody can hear what he's saying. But yes, so they're going to go back and review. But what you saw was the extension of the hands as Paez was coming off the curl. And the problem for Ward was that the official was literally standing 10 feet from us and 5 feet from where he pushed him.
KB Burdette is the crew chief, and Wesley Ford and Marquise Pettigrew are his sidekicks. Pettigrew is referee number 2, Ford referee number 1.
The only way they take this back to just a common foul is if they think that the contact wasn't enough. Now, Baez certainly was going down when he got hit, but if they thought that it wasn't enough of a push or a shove to
I'm going to play audio man again.
do it, to justify the flagrant. Here we go.
Flagrant one penalty is confirmed.
So they're going to confirm the flagrant one because of the extension of the hands. He came around the curl, so that'll send him right back to the free throw line. So just a moment ago, it's a 12-point game. So take another look here as he comes off the curl. Watch, keep your eyes on 15. Here's the screen, two hands on the back, and then you see right at the end with a little push. That's what knocks him off balance. But he makes this. Now it's going to be an 8-point game. They're going to get the ball again. You're talking about a potentially 7-point play from when you were just down 12, and a second hasn't ticked off the clock.
How was my audio work?
That was great.
Well, the scenario you just described could indeed come true for the Lions as they take advantage of free throw opportunities, and now another possession, and it's 64-56.
They have not been very good in this second half on the three-point line, not for lack of trying, but should they get one here, you're talking about a 7-point play. All of a sudden you're down 5, and the clock just started moving.
A late pass and a good catch, and Paez for 3.
And he got fouled. That's 3 free throws. This is becoming a Paez possession. Flagrant foul goes to the free throw line. Flagrant foul back to the free throw line. 3-point attempt miss, gets fouled. Now 3 free throws coming for Paez. Let's take another look again. Paez is set up. And they called that again on Ward. Look at Ward's reaction. Are you kidding me? So that quickly becomes 4 fouls on Ward. And in case you're wondering, too, you could see Ward clearly did not jump for the ball. He wasn't anywhere close to him on the shot attempt. Where that foul was called was at the very end as Paez was coming down, Ward encroaching on his space. Now, Paez might have sold it a little bit, but that's where the foul was called. It wasn't on the arm. It was when he came down the lane.
And after all these free throws are done, it could be a 5-point lead for LSU. And it was a dozen just a few seconds ago.
It's a 7-point possession for Paez by himself, who, by the way, when you've talked about fouling the wrong guys for LSU, Paez coming into this ball game was 16 for 20 on the season at the free throw line. He's 6 for 6 right now. And it's happened in the last 12 seconds.
So he's 22 for 26.
Oh, how about that? Now can LSU overcome self-inflicted wounds here that's now allowed this to become a 5-point game and get a couple of big buckets to get some more difference between them and the Lions on the scoreboard.
So after all was said and done, that was 7 consecutive free throws for the Lions, right?
Yes, in 12 seconds. Clock wasn't moving until his 3-point attempt.
Williams penetrates, he's cut off. 4 to shoot. Here come the Lions, and they trail only by 5. 64-59, 3:40 to go. This is McFarland. You generally want the ball in his hands during clutch time. And look at the little guard get underneath. That's Roscoe Eastman, a 5'9", 150-pounder, and he makes this a three-point game.
And to go baseline and find enough space going baseline to use that right hand on a baseline angle and then still be able to use the glass to get it up and in. Matt McMahon can no longer wait for a dead ball and a media timeout. He took the timeout himself.
Oh, boy. Hang on to your chairs. Buckle those seatbelts. It's 64-61. LSU leading only by 3 with 3:14 to go.
Beginning for head coach Matt McMahon. He doesn't want to talk about it right now. But when they look back, this is a team that had Nichols in the game till the end who won at the very end. Remember, they went to Charleston. They had a big lead on Dayton, wound up losing that game by 3, but then turned around and gutted one out against North Texas and Wake Forest. This is where you're going to learn about some of the character of your team. Can LSU, after what's happened over the last minute, put it together and defend their home court and get this win?
Free throws will be coming for the Tigers, who not too long ago had a 50-35 lead, and that has all but evaporated.
And that foul was called on the big man, Roberry, who just came back into the ball game. That is number 5. So we have been keeping an eye on how he and big Will Baker have been battling all night long. That's going to come to an end. He finishes with 5 points on 2 of 4 shooting in his 5 fouls. But I tell you, that doesn't begin to tell the story of what he's been doing in the paint tonight, battling with Baker.
Jordan Wright converts the first one. Both teams are in the double bonus. Baker battling for it. The ball is loose and picked up by the Lions. It's grabbed by McFarland.
Baker almost got that because he was taking advantage of Caldwell now on the inside with Roberry on the bench. He's got a 7-inch height advantage there, but he's able to keep it alive for the Tigers.
The lead is 4 for LSU with 2:45 to go in Baton Rouge against the Southland Conference team, Southeastern Louisiana. And there is a grave mistake, as it appeared that Alec Woodard stepped on the sideline.
And that's the second time in this half he's done that in front of his own bench. Coming out on the wing, but peeling out too far to the sideline, and he stepped on the sideline out of bounds.
And that's just an unforced error. There was little pressure, if any.
LSU, the only points they've had from the free throw line. No field goals now in 4.5 minutes. Look at 4 white jerseys all standing on the outside. Not a lot of motion at all.
Williams takes the 3, and a foul on Baker as he sent his opponent to the floor. Yeah, that's Caldwell, and 4 fouls on Baker.
Caldwell, we talked about Chachi from Fairville, played at touchdown. He's coming home close to home. Look at the battle on the inside, and he hits the floor hard. But when Roberry has not been in the game, and obviously he's done for the night now with 5 fouls, but early in the game when he would go to the bench, Caldwell has taken on the challenge of going up against Will Baker. And as we know, that is not an easy challenge.
Oh, no.
And he still leads the Lions in scoring with 13 points. He's only had 4 points in this second half. He was sitting at 9, leading the way at halftime. I think we just found the Chachi Caldwell cheering squad.
I think
from
so.
Just down the road in Fairville, but just to my right.
And he calmly drops both free throws. We've got a 2-point game with 2:19 to go. Does this Lions team start to believe? I think so, don't you?
Well, I think they started believing about 2 minutes ago when LSU was hurting itself with foul after foul. It's coming to us.
An unforced error in front court, and now the Lions can take the lead for the first time since the very early seconds of the game.
We talked about turnovers earlier, about LSU being a problem. That's now 17 turnovers for the Tigers. The Lions have not taken advantage of all those turnovers, just 10 points off of turnovers, but these could be the 2 or 3 biggest off of an LSU turnover tonight.
McFarland can't shoot from the baseline. Paez nods to a teammate to set a pick. They almost run into each other. A very deep three. Ball tipped around and controlled by LSU's Reed.
Much like what LSU did on the last offensive possession. 5 green jerseys all spread out behind the three-point line. Nowhere close to the paint when you've had so much success driving the lane in motion. No motion that time for the Lions on offense.
And Caldwell tried to convert a 24, maybe 25-footer. This skids across the rim. Baker got a hand on it. Tipped out to Williams. Baker wants it back. Baker's got it. He could have spun to his left. He's fouled by Paez, who tried to sneak in from the opposite side and steal it away.
You saw Baker was setting up. He's so good at getting a feel for a defender using his backside. He likes to back in. That's where he's strongest. Now look, quick turn to see where Caldwell is, and he wanted to go spin to his left. You see how Caldwell was shadowing him, but that time Paez came in looking for the quick steal and running the other direction and hit him on the wrist.
Baker has not missed a free throw tonight. He continues that string. He's 6 for 6 now. Looking for point number 18 and a 4-point lead for the Tigers. Boy, he's good at the line, isn't he?
Beautiful free throw motion and stroke follow through. You can see the rotation on that ball.
Baker 7 for 7 at the stripe, and LSU needs every one of them. 1:14 to play. The Lions take a timeout. LSU clinging to a 4-point lead.
Hey, if LSU holds on to win this game, they're going to go back and say, thank goodness we focused at the free throw line, because you're holding on to a 4-point lead with 1:14 to go, and you haven't hit a field goal on your home floor in the last 5:42. And they're getting ready to have possession. So you're going to go more than 6 minutes without a field goal, yet you're still holding on to a 4-point lead, because when you've been given the opportunity to go to the free throw line, you've hit them. And for the Lions, remember the last couple possessions, Woodard, far sideline, steps out of bounds. Last possession, 24-foot three-pointer with no motion. Boy, just those little things add up, don't they?
Ward. And it's been because of those free throw opportunities and the conversion of those. And LSU 15 of 21 from the stripe. With Baker leading the way, he's 7 for 7.
And they've hit 10 of those 15 free throws here in the second half. There are just 8 made field goals in this half. 8 for 22 is LSU from the floor. 7 of 22 are the Lions. So either one of these teams tearing it up on the offensive end.
74 seconds remain.
What's the decision? Who makes the right decision for the Lions to convert? Who makes the wrong decision and forces something up? Let's find out what they were discussing.
A 3 from the left side, almost banked in. Ball tipped around, controlled by the team in white. Williams has it.
I just think bank shot three-pointer was not what was drawn up in the huddle. I'm going to go on a limb and say that wasn't what was called.
And a reach-in foul, a wraparound by Eastman. Tried to flick it away after the dribbler went by him. And free throws coming for the Tigers with 53.7 seconds to play. I'll tell you what, the Lions may not win this game, and LSU trying to hold on without having a field goal in the last 6 minutes. Yes, you heard correct. But give the Lions one heck of a lot of credit, Victor. They have come, they've played hard. It hasn't been pretty sometimes. They've had their own droughts, they've had their own problems, but my goodness, this is a scrappy team out of the Southland Conference.
You see why the coaches voted them, and it was a very close vote. Preseason Southland Conference that they edged out McNeese as the team to beat in the Southland Conference.
The Tigers by 6. They're going to have to launch threes.
Now they're trying to set it up for that.
Good cross-court pass, and a 3 ball from the right side will not go, and that may be the end of the effort as LSU can come closer to putting salt on the meat.
LSU's big man and the game's leading scorer headed back to the free throw line, where he's 7 for 7 on the night and playing with 4 fouls.
That makes him 29 for 33 on the year.
And there's the miss. 36 seconds left in this ball game. If the Lions go down and miss the field goal, and you would expect LSU to dribble it out, they are going to go the last 6:57 in this ball game without a field goal, and they're going to win.
That's amazing. That is absolutely amazing. Well, there's a three, and things get a little dicey, don't they, Nick? Other side of the court.
Let's take a look. Jalen Reed's on the right side of your screen. He's looking to block out a man. It looks like he took a little forearm sugar there. That looks like maybe Woodard, number 20. Looking to see, yes, Woodard. Look like when he was coming in and Reed was turning around to block him out, so he took a little forearm shot right there in the chest. Maybe lost the wind for just a second.
.3 seconds remain. And it's a three-point game again.
I think the officials are like us. They were like, we were watching the shot in the timeout. They wanted to see why he went down in a heap. They're going to take a look at it, just make sure that it wasn't a flagrant forearm that was thrown into Reed when he went down.
To play. I'll tell you what, the Lions may not win this game, and LSU trying to hold on without having a field goal in the last 6 minutes. Yes, you heard correctly. So we'll see what Williams does here. But give the Lions one heck of a lot of credit, Victor. They have come, they've played hard. It hasn't been pretty sometimes. They've had their own droughts, they've had their own problems, but my goodness, this is a scrappy team out of the Southland Conference.
You can see why the coaches voted them, and it was a very close vote. Preseason Southland Conference that they edged out McNeese as the team to beat in the Southland Conference.
The Tigers by 6. They're going to have to launch threes.
And now they're trying to set it up for that.
Good cross-court pass, and a three ball from the right side will not go, and that may be the end of the effort as Woodard couldn't get it. And there will be free throws coming with 36.5 seconds to go, and LSU can come closer to putting salt on the meat.
LSU's big man and the game's leading scorer headed back to the free throw line where he's 7 for 7 on the night and playing with 4 fouls.
That makes him 29 for 33 on the year.
And there's the miss. 36 seconds left in this ball game. If the Lions go down and miss the field goal, and you would expect LSU to dribble it out, they are going to go the last 6:57 in this ball game without a field goal, and they're going to win.
That's amazing. That is absolutely amazing. Well, there's a three, and things get a little dicey, don't they? Nick Caldwell.
And right after the shot, somebody went down for LSU. It looks like it's Jalen Reed.
He's down on his belly.
And he's holding his chest like he took a shot.
.3 seconds remain. And it's a three-point game again.
I think the officials are like us. They were like, we were watching the shot in the timeout. They wanted to see why he went down in a heap. They're going to take a look at it, just make sure that it wasn't a flagrant forearm that was thrown into Reed when he went down and hit the deck. How big could this be when we just saw 4 minutes ago game time, when we just saw LSU have a flagrant foul, then a flagrant foul, then a foul on a three-pointer. The Lions cut this to 3 on that made three-pointer. How tragic would it be for them if all of a sudden Woodard's going to get called for a flagrant, throwing a forearm into Reed's chest?
Mike Williams has a season high with 15 points, 4 assists, also season's best, and 4 rebounds. So a good all-around game for him.
Keep your eye on the right of your screen. The man in the corner in the green jersey, that's Woodard. He's going to come run in. Here comes the contact right there. You see, at first, Reed has his arms up like he's going to try to go position him, and then all of a sudden he just goes down. It's not a great look, so it's tough to see. Was it a punch? Was it an incidental with the forearm? I don't know that you can see enough from that angle to see if it was flagrant or if it was just incidental while he was turning. But however he got hit, it certainly got Reed's attention because he immediately doubled over and went to the floor.
So far, they have not checked the bench for brass knuckles.
There was no call on the floor for a foul. There was a made three-pointer in the corner by Caldwell, and then the immediate timeout. So this could be a very impactful call if they decide that they see enough there to call a foul on them.
So LSU trying to hold on despite not having a field goal in the last, 6 minutes plus.
Yep. It's been 6 minutes and 20 some odd seconds right now. 6:27. The official just looked at us and waved like an official in football. No good on a field goal. They went in there. Last angle. Thank you very much. He said waiting on the last angle. They wanted to see all angles, but they said there wasn't anything there. There was no foul called initially, so no foul added. It's just a made three-pointer. LSU ball out of bounds on the baseline.
Now, if you're Southeastern, do you foul quickly?
If you do, it better not be to Will Baker.
That's
if you're LSU,
true.
you better get the ball in Baker's hands. He hasn't missed it, or he missed one tonight.
Well, he just missed his last two, didn't he?
Oh, he was two. You're right. So 7 for 9 now. You're right.
But you're right. He is the best free throw shooter for the Tigers by far.
Jordan Wright got fouled coming into tonight's game. He's 75% on the season, which is very acceptable. And he's 1 for 2 at the line tonight. So just needs one to once again make it a two-possession game, rather.
26.8 seconds to go. Don't let the dog out for the night quite yet. That is a big free throw from Jordan Wright. 13 points. Remember, Wright came off the bench tonight for the first time after 7 consecutive starts.
Now, if you're the Lions and you get a look at a quick layup, an easy lane to the basket, I'd take the 2. There's still 27 seconds left, and then you can foul again. But if you try to set it up and heave up a desperation 3, you almost eliminate yourself from the game.
The Lions save it. And a huge rebound by Jordan Wright as he came sailing in and claimed it with a...
With still 1 free throw to go. A lot more productive and efficient play for Jordan Wright tonight, which is what Matt McMahon and company were looking for.
He's got a season's high 16. That's Jordan Wright. Baez leaps and fires, and that misses badly. 1 second to play. This game is over. A hard-fought victory for the LSU Tigers as these Lions out of the Southland Conference come west about 40 miles and give LSU everything it wanted on its own court tonight.
I can't remember. I'm thinking hard. I can't remember the last time we said this, that a team that hit no field goals on its home court in the last 6:56 of this ball game went on to win. But the free throw shooting and some untimely plays by the Southeastern Lions made the difference in this ball game. The Lions certainly proved to be a scrappy bunch, but once again, their only win against LSU came back 57 years ago to the night when they played the game 1 of this series, and they won that game. But boy, what a hard-fought game by them to scrap their way back into this. Just couldn't make the plays down the stretch.